Right, so today is a big day. This delivery marks the birth of the Mbuna display. So we can finally start getting it set up. You probably will have already seen the video around the Mbuna display by now, but I've had this delivered today. This is going to be one of the top of the range canister filters on the market. So we're going to do a full product breakdown review of the actual canister filter itself. And the reasons why I've chosen this one for the Mbuna display. So stay tuned. And here she is. So this is the Oase Biomaster Thermo 600. It's good for tanks up to 600 litres. I probably, in all honesty, could have got away with one a little bit smaller for that tank. But with African cichlids, you always want to overcompensate for filtration. So I decided to get one that was a little bit bigger. I'll start with saying Oase have not sponsored this video. I've been out and bought this myself. So you will know me by now. This channel's no fluff, no nonsense. I'll give you an honest review of this product. If it's trash, I'll tell you it's trash. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good to go and get it. This has got excellent reviews. I know a lot of people who have got them. So I'm very, very confident that this is going to be a great filter for the African cichlid setup. So let's get it open and see what's inside. So while I'm getting this out, I want to tell you the main reason that I chose this this canister filter for the Mbuna display. So the main reason is because with the Oase Biomaster, the heater is built into the canister filter. So you don't have to have any wires hanging in your tank. I personally, I hate seeing equipment in display tanks. If it's a breeding rack and a breeding setup, it's fine. But anything that I want to sit and look at and enjoy, I'd like to have as minimal equipment intruding in the tank as possible. So this was a real selling point for me with the Biomaster, is that it has the heater built in, which means I have less equipment on show in the tank. And here she is. She's a good size. Well packaged as well. Everything's sort of reinforced cardboard, all sort of protecting the canister. And here you can see the heating unit itself. So really cool touch. I think all canister filters should have this, where you've got your heating elements built into it. I can't understand why every company that's building these things isn't doing that already, because it's such an ugly piece of kit to have in your tank just sat there. So if you can build it into something external, i.e. a sump or the canister filter itself, then why not go for it? Let's pop her open, take a look inside. Right, so let's do a breakdown of what's inside the canister. So the good thing with this one is you get 6 trays in total, which all come with your extra coarse sponge media in there. But obviously you can change these out for whatever you want to put in. But you've got 6 different trays, a lot of sponges in the first ones, and then what you get sort of default from the shop is you get 2 trays for biological at the bottom, with this plastic-like media in. Now, I'm not a massive fan of plastic biological filtration, unless you're using it in a moving bed filter, because you need it to have that buoyancy in the water. But I don't like it as sort of in a canister filler. I think you're much better with, you know, your ceramic media, your alpha grog, something that's a little bit more porous than the plastic bit. So I'm probably going to make some changes to what's actually in these different trays, because the Mbuna tank's going to be, you know, we're going to put more of a focus on the biological filtration as opposed to the mechanical. We can always add extra polishers onto the canister filter if needs be. But that's what makes this a good canister. So you've got loads of different trays. You can have a compartment for chemical filtration. You can customize it however you want. So a little bit like the sump, it's got a lot of customizability. You've got different trays what you can change up and put what you want in there, which is perfect for any tank. So you can make the canister filter suit your needs because you've got so many options with all the trays. So what I'm going to do with this, before I put this filtration together, is I'm going to remove one of the sponges, and then I'm going to take 2 bags of alpha grog from my sump, because I've got a lot in there, and I'm going to fill these trays with that mature media to help obviously the tank cycle and take off. So that will give us a massive boost on cycling this tank, adding this what is already mature media to the canister filter before we set it up. Right, now I've had this canister filter running for just over a week on the Mbuna setup, and it's really changed my stance on canister filters in comparison to sumps. Now, obviously I do love the sump, and I love that you can easily access it, but it does make a lot of noise, and it comes with the cons of evaporation and things like that, whereas this has given me really good water clarity, and I'll tell you, it is silent. You cannot hear a thing from this canister. It doesn't make a noise, so it's really discreet, and I couldn't be happier with the clarity of the water as well. So I'm not getting any sort of floating particles, albeit it's still quite a new tank. But I have been feeding this tank every day, and I've got a few Mbunas in there now as well. So I'm really happy with it. I mean, it comes with these, you know, these little features that other canister filters you don't really get on some of them. So you can see on the inlet and the outlet, it has these little dials. Now you can just use a kitchen knife or a screwdriver, and you can just turn these dials so that it can adjust the flow rate on the filter to suit your needs, which is really good if you know, it really makes this functional for a lot of different setups. So if you've got things like African cichlid, you can turn your flow rate up, and then if you've got a planted tank or shrimps and things like that, then you can dial it down and have a really low flow rate. But it's a really cool little add-on. It's got these locking functions on the canister itself, so that if you need to disconnect it and you need to do any maintenance on it, it makes it really easy, and you're not splashing water everywhere and having to move all the pipe work at the back and disrupt anything in your tank. So that's another really cool feature this has. And something else that I found really useful with it was the priming button on it. So if you've ever tried to prime a canister filler, sometimes you can be pumping these little things for ages, trying to get the air out and prime it ready for setup. This you push down, and it has really good suction on it. And it literally, I had to push it twice and it primed the filter. So it was a really quick and efficient setup. And then obviously, one of my favourite features about this canister filler, which I think all canister fillers should start introducing onto the way that they build them, is the built-in heater. So it is maintaining the temperature perfectly in this tank, and I don't have wires, that big ugly heater stuck on the back of the tank, being an absolute eyesore. So that was one of the main pulling points of this filler. But from how good it is, it's really changed my stance on it and made me think maybe when this 7-footer arrives, which comes in about a week's time, then I might run canister filters on this system as well. I might not use the Oase because in all honesty, the flow rate isn't amazing. So it's not pumping out a lot of flow into this tank. I am going to need to introduce a wave maker into it. So I'm probably going to look at an FX6 or maybe the Aquil Hypermax, which has 4 outlets per canister, and get one on each side of the 7-footer. But really happy with this canister. It's really surprised me. Dead silent, really discreet. I'm really happy that I didn't sump this tank as well. And then I've not had to do any sort of water top-ups yet in the last week. The 6-footer, I'm constantly topping this up because of evaporation. And I don't think it's just the sump. A lot of it is because it's an open top tank as well. So if I did get some lids over the top, it would probably reduce the evaporation by half at least. But yeah, I mean, I'm not having to top it up with fresh water. Really good performance so far. Loads of great features on it. So I definitely recommend, if you're looking at a 3-foot tank, 4-foot tank, anything planted, Oase Biomaster. It's an absolute beast. It's got great reviews. Loads of people use him. It's a renowned brand in the aquarium hobby. So if you're thinking canister filter, get out and get yourself one of these.